Once, when I was about 6 years old, I remember this doctor asking me these questions as he peered into my very stopped up ears. At the time, I kept wondering, why is he asking me all these dumb things like, did I like football? No. Did I like baseball or hockey? No. Was I in the Scouts? Did I like camping or hunting or fishing or BB guns? Finally, my mother, who was looking a little embarrassed, chimed in and said that I was very good at drawing and painting. She added that I was sort of the artist in the family. Sadly, that was probably the best explanation she could come up with for her increasingly weird child. Truthfully, by that age, I already knew that I wasn't really like other kids, and I'd sort of given up on the idea of having friends. And then, just as I was about to start second grade, my family moved yet again across the river from our ancestral home in Kentucky to an exotic new land called Ohio. Sensing correctly that my sisters and I were furious about this, my mother decided that the best way for us to all make friends was to get involved in my new school's Christmas pageant. Now, I came from a very religious family, so I was very used to being drafted for our church's annual nativity play, and I hated it. Every year, I just played the third shepherd from the left. I just stood there with a towel on my head. Now, unlike the little homespun events that we were used to, these Ohio people took this crap very seriously. This was like a whole big production with painted cardboard sets and sewn costumes. The plot revolved around these toys that came to life on Christmas Eve. Now, I was cast as one of 6 toy soldiers, and we had a little song and some choreography that basically amounted to us walking around the stage, marching while swinging our arms and legs very stiffly, as if we were made out of wood. Now, because I was tall for my age, I had to stand in the back row behind this shorter kid named Carl. Now, I had only been in this school for a few weeks, but I already hated Carl. He tended to push people on the playground, and he would steal the ball from you in gym class, and having to spend any extra time with him made it even less appealing to be in this show. Now, as we got closer to opening night, I noticed that my mom was getting very excited about her contribution to the show, which was sewing my costume. My mom was always very handy with a needle and thread, and she was already helping the other moms with the tricky job of constructing our tall cardboard hats. Meanwhile, Carl was really getting on my nerves. All he did was fidget and fart around during rehearsal, and he didn't even know the lyrics to the damn song. I wanted to drop out of the show, but I knew it was making my mom happy because she thought it was making me happy, which it wasn't. The night of the show, we arrived at the auditorium to find it quickly filling up with people. My heart started to pound. I suddenly got very nervous. All these people were going to be looking at us. I mean, what if we screwed up? What if we all forgot our lines? Before I knew it, the show had started. Now, in the first scene, these 2 kids dressed in pajamas talked about what they wanted for Christmas, and then they wrote a letter to Santa. All the toys waited breathlessly in the wings. We knew that when this scene ended, they were going to pull the curtain, and that was our cue to rush out into our places. As I listened to the last few lines of the Pajama Kids, my mouth went dry. I felt like I needed to pee, but it was too late. This was it. There was no backing out. And that's when it hit me. I was in the back row. No one would see me. No one would see this cool costume that my mom had slaved over. And suddenly, I was consumed by this huge, terrible instinct. It totally overtook me. Screw Carl. Why should he be in the front row? He didn't even know the lyrics to the stupid song. Whoosh, the curtains came closed, and all the toys charged the stage. Now, Carl was way more athletic than me, but I was taller and had longer legs, so I beat him to our spot at the Christmas tree and skidded into the front row. As expected, he panicked and scrambled in the only open position, mine in the back row. Just before the curtains were about to reopen, I heard him hiss, "You're not supposed to be there," but I didn't respond. I knew Carl could beat the crap out of me, but I doubted he'd do it in front of an auditorium full of adults. Whoosh, the curtains reopened, and everybody clapped like mad. One by one, the individual toys began to do their numbers. And when it became our turn, a relatively unassuming little 7-year-old boy suddenly was transformed into a 75-pound grinning Virginia ham. In hindsight, I might have swung my arms a little higher than I should have, but nobody seemed to notice. We finished to a big round of applause. The second the show was over, I fled the stage and into the safety of my parents' arms. Carl never did beat me up. In fact, he never really seemed to care about what had happened. He went right back to pushing people down at recess, while I opened an office on the top of the jungle gym, where I suspected our paths would rarely cross. I don't think I ever exchanged another word with him. It would be 5 more years before I would set foot on a stage again. But something had happened that night. I had developed a taste for the dramatic. Now, when the artist in the family felt like he'd been punished unjustly for something, he would take a marker and draw red lines across his wrists. Then he would lay down in the upstairs hallway on the floor and wait for someone to discover his attempted suicide. But mostly people just stepped over him on their way to the bathroom.